What's up, Gunprimer fam? It's French Bread Builds, and I'm back again with another review. And this is a special one. I know a lot of builders, including myself, that hate dealing with nub marks, but it's a necessary evil, especially if you don't paint. But Gunprimer has created a gate removal system that's supposed to make the whole process a lot less like pulling teeth, and is broken down into 3 steps. First step being the razor. I'm assuming that's short for eraser, but who knows. The second step is called the balancer, and the third step is recover. So I'm going to briefly talk about each step, and then we're going to go into a demo and see if it does what it claims. So let's get into it. First thing up we have is step 1, the razor. Out of the box you get what is advertised to be a tempered glass file. Yeah, a glass file, that's different. The website says you're supposed to use it just like a regular sanding stick or a metal file, and you rub the razor, it's going to be weird saying that, but you rub the razor up against the nub mark, and it's supposed to file down, the remaining nub. What makes a glass file better than a sanding stick or a metal file, I have no idea, but looks like we're going to find out when I do the demo. It also comes with a silicone / rubbery pad, which I'm assuming you just use to place the razor on when you're not using it, probably to minimize damage to it and keep it safe and looking good. Step 2 is what Gunprimer is calling the balancer. This is essentially a standard buffing block, and each side is supposed to leave you with a different finish. The green side, which has a coarse medium grit, is supposed to leave your part with a matte finish. The black spongy middle is supposed to leave you with a semi-gloss finish, and the white top side is supposed to leave you with a glossy finish. From my observation, this looks and behaves, or at least is supposed to behave, exactly like a standard buffing block. I'm not sure if there's anything different about this, but if there is, we'll definitely find out when I do the demo. Last but not least, we have step 3, recover. But I'm going to call it recovery because that sounds a little bit better. And I'll lie to you not, this looks and feels just like a thin piece of denim cloth. Apparently, by rubbing this on the plastic you just polished in step 2, you can remove whatever finish you just applied, whether it's matte, semi-gloss, or gloss, and return it back to the plastic's original finish. I can see that being pretty useful if you go overboard or you want to switch from gloss or semi-gloss to matte and vice versa. Kind of gives you a get out of jail free card, and nothing's really permanent if you're able to just return your plastic back to factory settings. So that's actually pretty interesting, and who would have thought that denim is the right grit to get you back to your original plastic finish. Either way, we're going to see how all of these things come together to polish a kit. Let's move on to the actual process. Okay, folks. Now that we've gone through the individual pieces of this Gate Eraser set, it's time to do a demo. So, as you can see, I've got everything that I'll be using in this demo laid out here. And what I tried to do was to mirror what I would do normally, but instead of the normal tools that I would use, like sandpaper sponges and metal files, I've replaced it all with the Gunprimer Gate Eraser Set. But I've still got my standard nippers, my standard single blade nippers, my follow-up God hand nippers, and for the demo we'll be using navy blue plastic that I took from the Fazverca that I was working on. Navy blue plastic is notorious for showing gate marks, so this will be a really good example. And I also have a bit of clear plastic that I will be using the razor on. I have no idea how this will turn out. I generally When it comes to clear parts, most of it is covered up by a lot of plastic anyway, so I do not spend a lot of time focusing on that. So, alright, so with everything laid out, I am going to start the demo. So the first thing that I do is I clip out the piece with my regular standard single blade nipper. This is just to make the first cut, and then I follow up with my God hands. When I'm normally clipping out parts, I use the God hands to get the smoothest, flattest cut I can get. Makes cleaning up a lot easier, so I always go with my God hands. So it still leaves a visible mark, but makes it a bit easier to clean down the line. And I'm not as concerned about the nub marks since I'm painting my kits. So yeah, so you guys can see the nub marks, and now I'm going to take the eraser and I'm going to start filing away. Just make sure that I get a good view. One of the things that I noticed while filing away at this is that the damage to the plastic was very minimal. I could tell that the only thing that was getting filed away was the nub mark itself. When you're using other types of files or sandpaper or something, you can't really segregate the nub, so you're attacking the whole surface, but this really just attacked the nub itself. So I'm going to treat it like I normally treat nub marks. I'm going to keep filing away. And let's switch to the other nub. Back to that bit more visible nub. We'll get up and close so that you guys can see what I'm doing, and you can actually see the surface of the part not really getting scratched up, just the nub mark and the edge. Minimal effort, that nub mark's pretty much gone. Let's go up at the top again, the biggest nub mark in my opinion. As you guys can see, that even without the other steps done yet, it really is attacking those nub marks. It's now time to follow up with the balancer. For this top one, I'm going to be using the medium grit green side, which is supposed to leave a matte finish. I already know immediately that I will not be using this tool to leave a finish on my kit, mostly because I paint, but for straight builders, this could come in handy. Definitely come in handy. As you can see on the surface here, the green does actually, it wears away at the top a little bit. It's not very destructive, but it does. And now I'm going to switch over to the balancer to test out the high gloss capability. And yeah, I can immediately see that it is definitely getting glossier and glossier. Hard to capture on camera, but you can see, you can definitely see the gloss. There you go. Much glossier than it was originally. I'm gonna go back up to that top nub and see if I can scratch at it some more. You guys can see the work that it's doing to that nub. Barely visible, especially under that matte coat. So that's another thing you guys should pay attention to. So let's go over to the recovery denim cloth and rub the surface and see what we get. I'm not rubbing too hard here. minimal pressure, but not too soft. I am trying to return that entire surface back to its original finish, like the website claims. And as you can see, it's the matte finish that I had put there before, completely gone. And that nub mark is considerably less visible. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the process. I think it works. I do think it works. You can see that the nub is definitely not as visible as it was before. And it's even smoother to the touch as well, which is really, the ultimate test. So let's move on to the clear piece and see what we can get out of that. Yeah, we know it works on colored plastic, and we know it works on the worst case scenario colored plastic. Let's see what we can do with clear plastic. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's definitely a slight mark there. Definitely a slight mark. So let's take the razor here and see if for clear plastic that's enough. This pad is really sticky, so once you set it down, it's not going anywhere. All right, so let's try, and I'll go at it from this angle this time. Let's see how it treats clear plastic. Let's see if I can get that nub to go away. Wow. No cap once again, guys, but this is wild. I'm really starting to forget where the nub was on here. I'll zoom in for you guys again because you saw it. Where's that nub? Where is the nub, guys? That is, wow. Okay. And I would say, here's actually, let me try the other side just so you guys can see it. There is you can see the nub right there. I'm going to, let's give it a try again. Wow. Wow, man. No joke, guys. This legitimately just took the nub right off the clear plastic without damaging the part. Wow. That's impressive. And just to show you guys again, just so you see I'm not capping. Like, I'm going around the edge, trying to show you guys. Look at that. You definitely see imperfections in the plastic itself. In that of it's definitely leveling the plastic, but the fact that it's not scratching the plastic where the nub mark is pretty fantastic. I would say that with just clear plastic, for clear plastic parts, you are good with just the razor. For colored parts, you would go razor, you would go with the balancer. I would honestly maybe even before going high gloss, hit your nub mark with this side first just to smooth it out a little bit, and then follow up with the high gloss. And then if you don't care, if you want to return your plastic back to its original finish, take the recovery cloth, rub it on there, and you've got a nub that is significantly less present than it was before. Wow. Oh man, that is impressive, guys. That is impressive. Wow. So, now that we've seen what the Gate Eraser Set can do I think it's worth buying? The short answer is absolutely. The biggest draw to a system like this is that it provides a great, relatively quick, and easy way to remove nub marks. Can you still use traditional ways like metal files and sanding sticks and nail buffing blocks? Yeah, definitely. You can still use those. They're not obsolete, but the biggest selling point for Gunprimer system is that it takes all the risk out of sanding. No more worrying about over sanding, damaging the plastic surface, and annoying ass nub marks bringing down the aesthetic of your build. I can see this working for straight builders looking to give their builds a cleaner look, and this definitely gets the job done. For the painters out there, including myself, nub removal is still an annoying process that can still lead to damaged plastic and other mistakes that are time consuming to fix. So head over to gunprimer.com if you want to pick up a Gate Eraser set for yourself, and make sure you use code FrenchBreadBuilds10 to get 10% off your order. Now what I would really like to know is, how do you guys feel about this nub mark removal system? Are you fine with the way you're removing nub marks now, or do you see the set being a game changer? Whatever your thoughts, leave a comment below and let me know. And if you like what I do, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at FrenchBreadBuilds to check out what I got coming up next. See you guys. Thanks for stopping by.